Hi, good morning. I'm Andrea Storm, and thank you for visiting me. Oh, I can't get it out of my mind. I was talking last evening about upside down Monopoly, right? The idea that, the game of Monopoly and what we've been coded for, it's kind of backwards. But I've been thinking about, like, what could a solution for that be, right? It's not really upside down. How about reverse? I mean, like, how do you deconstruct something when it's so deeply embedded and ingrained into the systems of what the reality is that we, as a collective, like, you didn't, I think of those like little ant farms, you know what I mean, where we all have a role. And that's really what we as a collective humanity act like. We all go out there and we have a role and we do that job and we do it every day and we do it very well for years and years and years, never quite thinking about the impact of our work over years, over time, right? I'm lucky. I didn't have, like, a career that lasted for a long period of time, and I had to reinvent myself over and over. I say now I'm lucky. And it was very interesting, but I had to reinvent myself. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you're in Chicago, then maybe you're familiar with the Chicago Reader. I remember I would spread out the section 4 and I would start reading through there, circling things, making phone calls. We're talking in the 80s, back when we used paper newspapers. Chicago Tribune, they didn't have anything that met my need. And jobs back then were word of mouth, friend of friend. It was a lot of nepotism. I didn't have any friends and I didn't have any relatives. My dad abandoned me. My relatives were in Germany. My aunt, we're here to talk about good things, right? So some things could trigger me into a long conversation. I've healed on her, but ooh, some people in this world, you gotta wonder, like, what happened to you, man? Why you gotta be like that? Judy. Mm-mm-mm. Well, anyway, so yeah, back to so we can't flip it upside down, but we could reverse engineer it. Now that there are so many corporations that do actually hold a monopoly on our lives, and we are enslaved to go back to our work routine, our routine, our routine, each and every day, in order to get out from under, buy a piece of bread, get an egg, maybe have a piece of meat once a month. Hey, you know what? I know there are people out there that are affluent and that do better, and I know that there are other people that are spending their money and not really worried about it. And we're all different, right? But what I'm saying is, I don't think that everyone's being taken care of, and that's my argument. So, oh, let's reverse engineer the game. Like, what about like when say we can make new policies on the game, right? Toward the end, like when somebody has everything. So you figure maybe if you've paid on that house or hotel enough times, maybe you get that house or hotel. What? Now, we're not talking mortgage style, but in Monopoly, nobody ever gets go around and around and around the game, and typically one could end up bankrupt. I've decided I'm not going to be the one that's ending up bankrupt. I'd rather change the rules of a game that's been out there for an awful long time, or play a different game. Be blessed. I don't know. Monopoly, it's bugging the heck out of me. Have a great day. Bye for now.